What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. Listen, sorry in advance for the excuse, not the excuse, sorry, the sounds you might be hearing in the background. They are setting up for my nephew's birthday party. He's celebrating his 9th birthday. Well, it was months ago, but he's actually doing the birthday party tomorrow. So that's why you might hear some stuff in the background. Now, I wanted to talk to you about disgraced former Teen Mom 2 dad, David Eason, and his new girlfriend, who I guess I could now refer to as disgraced unknown girl, whose name I'll have to look up a little bit later. It's Kenleigh something. She's speaking out about him and defending their relationship. There you go. Her name is Kenleigh Heatwell. I pulled this up from her, what do you call that? Like the mixtape website? SoundCloud. I pulled this up from her SoundCloud. No, she doesn't make music. She's not a rapper like David, but she does have a SoundCloud account. Now, there's a website called thethings.com that managed to grab some quotes from Kenleigh and what she had to say about David that I wanted to go over with you guys because some of this stuff is just, wow, so mind-blowing, to be honest with you. The article is entitled, David Eason's New Girlfriend Defends Him as She Reveals How They Met. It's written by Alexandra Sakellariou. Sorry if I butchered that, Alexandra. Let's get into what it is that was said in this article, right? So, he is playing house with a girl named Kenleigh Heatwell, and Kenleigh talked about their relationship, basically, right? And so she's saying that initially I didn't want to be with him. I knew who he was, and I did not want to like him. I literally was talking to someone else. I didn't want to like him. I kept saying I don't. And it's just so weird because it's kind of like, okay, well, you find out that someone, is dangerous towards animals. And I believe Kenleigh has animals of her own. She's got dogs. And you find out that this is somebody who is capable of just out of the blue snapping and shooting like 5-pound dog. And you say to yourself, oh, I was so tempted. I didn't want to get with this guy, but I was so tempted. Like, it's sounding very, very strange, right? And how did these two even meet? Because I'm not really seeing it. Listen, I don't really follow David Eason like that ever since. I know he got rehomed when he was squatting on after squatting on Janelle's boat, but I don't know how he met this girl. It seems to be a dating app or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, if you're not interested in dating someone on a dating app, do you not scroll past? Do you not block? Like, it's not making sense. I think she's a liar here. Now, David interrupted her to say that he was jealous when she found out that she was dating other people, and apparently Kenleigh likes David's jealousy. But Kenleigh, you're someone who knew who David Eason was, which means that you're aware of how his jealousy can cost you your livelihood. Janelle Evans was making a good salary on Teen Mom 2 when she met David, and then David's jealousy cost her job, like in its entirety. He made it hell for her and for her producers to film her for Teen Mom 2, and that is ultimately a big reason why she got fired. He initially got fired when he, red rummed the family dog unprovoked, but then he decided to go ahead, being the jealous, loser that he is, and get Janelle fired alongside him. So how is it that you don't go, oh my God, here I am experiencing the stuff that Janelle Evans experienced in her marriage? And Janelle talked about how David made it so that she couldn't really communicate with people. It's not like she had friends like that anyway, but he made it even worse for her to be able to communicate with, the few friends or the few people that she had in her life. Now here comes Kenleigh trying to sell David to us. She claims that David is a lot sweeter than people portray him to be. Well, that's love bombing, sweetie. Like, he's being nice to you because you are providing him with shelter. Even the worst of the worst will pretend to be nice to anyone who is providing them something. You think he liked living on that boat? You think he wanted to just, stay there forever? No, he needed a home. And apparently you were the easiest, quickest way for him to get himself into a house. Now, and it's not even a houseboat. This is nothing against people who live on houseboats, because those are actual homes on water. He was living on a little rinky-dink boat that's not meant to be lived in, right? Now, especially not long term anyway. And then we all know that David has no money because he has not been employed in several years now. And this is shown in his disputes with Janelle Evans. So they're going through their divorce, they're going through their custody issues and everything like that. And David has not really been able to fully participate in the process because he has not been able to get a lawyer. And why is David Eason not able to get a lawyer? Because he's unemployed, right? And so now Kenleigh is trying to fight back against those clear, true facts that have been recorded in the court of law. She's claiming that David, who cannot afford his own lawyer, right, to fight off a restraining order, to fight for custody of his kids, to fight in his divorce so that he continues to get more of Janelle's money. She's claiming that this man has been paying for a lot of her home improvements just to help me out because a lot of people did things incorrectly on the house. Girl, stop. You're paying for your home improvements and you're trying to convince us that David paid for it. David couldn't even afford a hotel after he got kicked out of Janelle's house. He couldn't even afford his own boat. He couldn't afford his own anything. Like he was squatting on Janelle's property. And not only that, but he had bought like some kind of like a BMX bike or something like that with Janelle Evans's money and Janelle Evans's name on it all. And he didn't make any payments. So guess what happened? Because Janelle is no longer paying for David Eason's toys, that thing has to be repossessed. So how is it that this man who cannot pay for his own shelter, who cannot pay for his own motorbike, is now suddenly, who cannot pay for a lawyer to help him find custody of his kids, fight for custody of his kids, who cannot pay to fight his divorce? How is it that he's suddenly finding money from underneath the boat cushions to pay for your home improvements? It just does not make sense, especially when you guys just started dating and he would not have a stake in it if you two were to leave each other. Like the only way that I would even like remotely believe this is if like David, like, I don't know, had her put his name alongside hers, like, you know, on the house or something so that like he would have a stake from his quote unquote investment. But we all know that there is no investment. And not only that, lest we forget, and I'm so sorry for continuing to put up that photo, you guys, but look at the options, which, you know, he doesn't leave me much options, right? But it's not just like the lawyer stuff and like the boat stuff, but David was also on TikTok for the longest time before he settled on this girl. He was begging people to DoorDash him food. So honestly, Kenleigh, girl, this is not the road you want to go down. This is not the hill you want to die on, defending someone like this. Like, this is just really, really disturbing. It makes me honestly low-key kind of embarrassed sometimes of womanhood to see that there's always like some, you know, bird brain woman out there ready, willing, and able to enable, to shelter, provide, and protect for the worst men among us. You know, David, the things he's done are not like, you know, little accidents here and there, like, you know, youth, like, you know, young and dumb. No, like these are very, very vicious actions and behaviors. These have been fatal actions and behaviors. And these have cost him custody of his children. He's lost custody of his children like 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, very disturbing, honestly. I think that now that this girl, Kenleigh, has put herself in the spotlight, and we know that she's with David, we know something's off about her. So just you wait, guys, give it time. Things are going to start to come out about her own past, because a normal person would not be with David Eason. You guys, it's just not possible. And this relationship, honestly, is probably going to go the same way that all of David's relationships are going to go. And we're going to hear all about it. And what can you say? You know, I don't know. What can you say? Whew, Lord. If you saw this man on a dating app, would you not just report the profile and say, this is like a known, like, you know, abuser or something like that, right? That's what I would do. Why would you go ahead and match with him and say, I wasn't trying to fall in love with him. I didn't want to fall. Girl, stop it. We're not falling for that. We're not. And don't come crying to us when David Eason does to you what he does to everybody else. As you know, you knew who he was. You knew what he did to Janelle. You knew what he did to his ex before Janelle. You know what he's done to children. You know what he's done to dogs. You are just I don't even have the words for it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.